Hey everyone, what's going on today? I'm going to be doing my first ever tank review on the Cobalt Aquatics C-Vue 18-gallon AIO tank. Why? Well, I simply fell in love with this tank. And I had no idea about this tank until now, and I want to spread the awareness and tell you guys how great this tank really is. So as any Aquarius does, browse, you just go into the local fish shop browsing. Well, I headed over to Advanced Aquatic Pets in Belmont, North Carolina, and I was browsing around and bam, there this tank sat. And of course, it just drew my attention being rimless design, as a lot of great brands do. But the thing is a lot of great brands, they stay away from the little detail. Well, Cobalt Aquatics definitely does it. Looking at that rimless design, ultra clear glass, they use a low iron technology, they use beveled edges, so everything just looks neat and proper. That's immediately what attracted me to this tank. The second thing was the 5-chamber hidden filtration system that's on it. Well, I didn't actually realize how big the chambers were until I actually got home and I started moving equipment over and realizing how much space I had. So if you're interested in doing the nano skimmer or even a mid-size skimmer, reactors, you can put it in those accessory chambers with absolutely room to spare. So not only did they give you extra space there in the back filtration, but they also layered the bottom back of it with non-tempered glass. So if you're ready for drilling, customizable plumbing, add your bulkheads there, there's plenty of room to do so, and you can drill through it. Okay, so let's talk about flow. Holy cow, 165 gallons per hour pump. This thing was rocking some water out, pushing some sand around. My fish were holding on, but good thing is you can actually adjust it, and I went ahead and throttled it down a little bit, and it makes it perfect because I really kind of push more towards my wave maker to kind of push around water. But let me tell you, there's no lack of moving water with this pump. There is going to be 2 overflow points on this tank on the outside, and one thing about overflow, typically you just think, okay, it's just bringing the water over and in. Well, one good thing about this is actually, and this is what I'm talking about the attention to detail. You guys know what salt creep is with it kind of getting everywhere, looking real nasty. Well, this tank really does a great job in kind of funneling the water directly down. It doesn't give a lot of surface room for the water to travel on, so it actually just drops right off into that 200 micron filter sock, so there's really no issues with salt creep in those areas. So as I said, there is a no bypass 200 micron filter sock. These are great because you can quickly wash them, you can use them for a while, but if you wanted to do something a little bit more custom, you can actually head over to InTank. So I actually have both side media basket and the Fuge basket, so I'm gonna run this on one side with Cheeto, and then on the other side I'll run that 3-step, so you can run the filter floss, Chemi Pure, or whatever you decide. Okay, so let's talk about cons. There's actually really only 2. The first one is going to be the availability of a mesh top. One thing with gas exchange on the top of the water, I always really push for a mesh top. Unfortunately, there's really no one in the market that offers it for this tank, but don't worry, I spent $25 and actually created a kit off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and drop it in the link below so you guys can kind of check it out. But basically it's just framing with some mesh, super cheap fix, not a big deal, and it'll be super easy to kind of pop on there and go with that. The second thing has to be, it was a little loud when I was just running both filter socks, because it's a pretty good drop off, as I kind of talked about with the no salt creep, but I think there's maybe a slight disadvantage to it. The water travels pretty far off that overflow down into that filter sock, and well, yes, it kind of sounded like a mini waterfall in my room, but not a huge deal, and it actually fixed that issue when I switched over to that intake media basket. So overall, this tank is absolutely great. I know they call it the AIO, the all-in-one. It's not quite all-in-one, but I think it's just enough because it gives you the ability to customize what you want. But it also does give you options like the Cobalt Aquatics stand that goes specifically with this tank, so it really just completes it. And there's one thing about having a quality stand, because as you know, you're putting a lot of weight on it for a long period of time, so you're hoping that it stays up. I trust this stand completely. It's made of really good quality, it's really heavy duty, it's a kind of a haul to move around, super simple to build, and it has a nice layer, kind of like film over the wood, so it's going to protect it. So if you have any spillage or any type of water overflow. Speaking of water overflow, check this out. So this is actually, I have it upside down, my bad. Check this out. So this is a Cobalt Aquatics made this mat, and the technology of this mat is pretty cool. So when you're doing water changes, I don't care who you are. You may be the most professional water changer out there. Well, guess what? You're still gonna spill water. This mat is here to catch all of that. This mat can hold up to 1 gallon, and this is the smaller size of them. So you can actually pick up larger ones that hold more water. But if you want to check those out, you guys can either head over to advancedaquaticpets.com, pick up yours, or go check it out on cobaltaquatics.com. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I absolutely love this tank. I'm giving this tank a solid 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it gets any better, and I'm excited to grow with this tank because I think I can keep upgrading my equipment along the way, and this tank's going to hang with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section below.